Buenos dias. Beginning of day 2 of my Camino, but actually I haven't started yet. I wasn't able to take the bus to Saint Jean Pied de Port yesterday from Pamplona, so I stayed the night in Pamplona while waiting for my shoes to get fixed. So yeah, I'm heading there a bit later on today. I'm standing here at the Ciutadella, the old fortress in Pamplona. Did a bit of cheeky research on Wikipedia. Apparently it's shaped in a 5 pointed star shape, which helps it defensively. That didn't help when one of Napoleon's generals decided to come and visit. He entered the city peacefully, just saying he was passing through to invade Portugal, and then one of his soldiers got killed and he decided to take over. So a lot of defences, but didn't help. Sitting here at the Tree of Life with a gateway behind me that goes over the bridge from one side of the city walls to the other. Thought it was a good place to have a little think. I was chatting to a mate this morning back home in Australia, and chatting about the coronavirus situation and the effect that's having on everyone being locked up indoors. Certainly here in Spain it was pretty nuts. We weren't even allowed to exercise for a while. Back in Australia right now, he's in Victoria and things are pretty tough there. So certainly a weird time in the world we're all living through. I lost my job as a result of coronavirus, but I think like all things, there's a lot of good that can come from bad, essentially. What looks to be bad isn't always bad, and certainly I think that's the case here. Like, it was the right time for me to move on from McLaren, and there's some other opportunities available, but also I'd really love to eventually do my own thing, and that's something we chatted about. So my mate's a small business owner, and he started out as an electrician, and he went through a sort of an intermediate phase where he was contract working, and then doing some of his own work through his own business, and if he had a quiet day he could get a bit of work through an old contact, just to fill up his time. And eventually, you know, his own work overtook any of the contract work, and he was able to go it alone. So it's good to hear different ways to do things. Obviously, everyone's situation is different depending on what your background is and what you're doing. But certainly for me, I don't always gel with management hierarchies, and I'd love to manage myself, let's say. So fingers crossed I can make something like that work in the future.
Here we are finally in Saint Jean Pied de Port. Beautiful little town. And I've discovered one of the key attractions, Roy's Bridge. Shout out to Raymo's old man, Roy Boy. Magnifique. See all the medieval walls protecting this chalet.
So finally here in Saint Jean Pied de Port. Can't say that. And tomorrow starting the Camino, 25 kilometers tomorrow up through the mountains, something like 1200 meters of altitude gain, so it'll be one of the harder days in terms of climbing. The rest of the Camino is not super steep. Tomorrow's going to be a bit of a challenge, so it should be really nice up in the mountains, beautiful weather and nice green hills. Looking forward to it. It actually turns out that Roy's house is not a chateau. In fact, it's a citadel, which is I'd say a fortress, because the pesky Spanish Pamplonites kept invading, and the French decided that Saint Jean Pied de Port would become a strategic stronghold. This was something I missed like crazy when we had the Spanish lockdown. Just trees. The sunlight through the trees is just something that's, I don't know, surreal. And when you're locked up inside a Spanish flat with no trees and no way to exercise, you don't get that kick from nature that as a human I think we all need.
Look, it's a squirrel. He's jumping between the branches, majestically.
Well as could be expected.